What's up, YouTube? Brad over from Rants. All right, so what are critics who have actually got to see Ghostbusters Afterlife actually think of the movie? Now, I know you can't go really by these critics because getting to see the movie really before it comes out, you're usually going to get glowing, critic scores from all that. So it should be taken with a grain of salt, but I'm still really interested to know exactly what people are thinking about it. Maybe see if we can get some hint of more what the story is going to be like. I know I've heard that there's going to be a the Ghostbusters from the 80s are going to actually be in this, or at least some of them. And then there is going to be a villain that we're all very familiar with is going to make an appearance, which is interesting in itself. But of course, those are rumors that I've heard. But let's go to the critics' rating and just see what people are thinking about it. All right, it says Ghostbusters Afterlife reviews are rolling in from critics who have seen the film that stars Paul Rudd, Ben Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Carrie Coon. On Metacritic, the film had a Metascore of 62 with 7 positive reviews, 3 mixed reviews, and 1 negative review. It says Rosie Knight at IGN gives the film a 90. She writes, director Jason Reitman does his father and fans proud with a funny, sweet, and spooky family movie that proudly takes on the legacy of Ghostbusters while also introducing something exciting and new. Which I don't know exactly what the new part. It always scares me when I hear the word new, because when I hear the word new, I think, okay, what kind of bogus BS crap have they added to it? Of course, we had the all-female Ghostbusters, which was a complete and total disaster. I just hope they completely and totally get away from that. I really do. I hope they just completely retcon that from the whole series. Let's just pretend that one just didn't even exist. It was a bad film. It was an unfunny film. It didn't It didn't bring Ghostbusters to any fans. I don't know what they were thinking when they actually made it. I hope this one's different. I'm still a little bit skeptical when it comes to this, simply because, okay, they went from a all-female Ghostbusters to now a kid Ghostbusters. And why can't we just have regular Ghostbusters? I don't know why that's a strange thing anymore. Like, why not just have regular Ghostbusters and let's go and see how that actually works. But I guess that's not progressive enough by today's standards. Johnny Oleksinski at the New York Post gives the movie an 88. He writes, Reitman finds the perfect tone here. He's also skilled at getting genuine performance out of young actors, as he proved in Juno, and balancing humor and stakes, essential for comedy horror like Ghostbusters. The jokes are very funny, and Wolfhard and Grace make life-threatening peril look like a ball. Jane Crowther at Total Film gives the movie an 80. She writes, warm, witty, and full of wonder. Afterlife reanimates a franchise without spitting on its grave. Which, really, that's about as much as you could ask for something. We've seen it with Star Wars. We've seen it with Indiana Jones. We've seen a lot of these new remakes of things where, to do their own thing, they have to spit on the grave of what came before it. And that's just not what fans are wanting. That's definitely not what I want. It says Sherry Linden at The Hollywood Reporter gives the film an 80 as well. She writes, as franchise update, origin story, coming of age movie, comedy, and indulgent FX extravaganza. The feature, written by the director and Gil Kennan from Monster House, hits all its marks. Ollie Richards at Empire gives the movie an 80. He writes, it's always fun, inventive, and full of charm. If you have any concerns that Jason Reitman's film might sully the legacy of his dad's greatest creation, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's good to hear. Like I said, you can only take some of this with a grain of salt. The movie could come out and it could just be a complete stinker. From what I've seen of it in the previews, I'm excited about it. I really am. Not because I think it's going to live up to the standards of the original. I don't think it will. I don't even think it's going to be as good as the original Ghostbusters animated series. I don't think it's going to be that good. But I just want it to be better than the all-female Ghostbusters. I mean, I know that's probably a low bar to set, but that's where I'm at right now. Anyways, it says William Bibiani at the wrap gives the movie a 71. He states Reitman's direction may be sharp and professional, but that's only in the service of familiar material. So it falls to an excellent cast to make the most of a very repetitive situation. Ooh, see, that don't sound too good right there. If the movie's repetitive in any form or fashion, I don't want it to be spinning its wheels throughout the whole movie. I want a good, clear, concise introduction of the characters. I want it action-packed. I don't want it full of identity politics in any form or fashion. And you know what? Lots and lots of ghosts. I don't see how you could go wrong. I don't really know how that can be repetitive. But I know a lot of directors these days actually make fun stuff repetitive and nonsensical because a lot of them really aren't good at their jobs. I'm hoping Reitman's a little bit different when it comes to that. If he's the one that did Juno, I've watched that movie. It was an okay movie. I just hope he gets the best out of these young actors. I hope he gets the best out of this story. And I hope he's very respectful of the Ghostbusters that came before him, except the all-female cast one. It says Peter Dubraj at Variety gives the movie a 70. He writes, the good news for Ghostbusters fans is that Afterlife does nothing to tarnish what has come before. Christian Holub at Entertainment Weekly gives the film a 58. Holub writes, there are some jokes here. Paul Rudd brings a little likeness to the proceedings as the kid's science teacher, Mr. Gruberson. But it's hard to escape the overall sensation of, a corpse being exhumed. John Hassinger at EV Club gives the movie a 50. Hassinger states, Afterlife wants desperately to summon the spirit of watching the first movie back in 1984. It winds up ghoulish in the wrong way. No, a lot of these seems like a trend that's going with a lot of these reviews is that it doesn't add anything new, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. I don't necessarily want a rehashing of the 1980s version. I want something new to a certain extent, but something that's respectful to the old at the same time. But it seems like that is where this is going. It's not anything that's going to be groundbreaking. It's something that is going to be, kind of safe. Maybe that works for Ghostbusters. I don't know. I sure would. I would like something new, but at the same time, you know what? If they stay put and they keep it safe, I guess I'm cool with that too. It depends upon how much they actually do that, though. I don't want a stale movie or a movie that I feel like I've seen before. Alright, Courtney Howard at IndieWire gives the movie a 50. She writes, Jason Reitman's Ghostbusters Afterlife hits the reboot button once more, this time carrying a familiar cinematic legacy. Yet with all the nostalgia packed into the picture, its own refurbished identity is slightly compromised, functioning as a mimeograph of what came before it. Charles Bramesco at The Guardian gives the movie a 20. He writes, here we can find a damning summary of modern Hollywood default mode, a nostalgia object drained of personality and fitted into a dully palatable mold, custom made for a fandom that worships everything and respects nothing. Alright, so Yeah, I think that's kind of my view of the way these critic scores are going. Is they are not, they're not praising it as it being anything creative or new or profound in any form or fashion, which you could say about the original. This sounds a lot like it's going to rehash a lot of the same tropes that was in the original one. Um, and about the only new thing in there is that there's kids in it, or the kids are the main characters. Now I knew it was going to go heavy on the nostalgia. I've said it many times here on Rants or Us. I'm not big on nostalgia. Really not. Not when it comes to Star Wars. Not when it comes to really any, even like I mentioned earlier, Indiana Jones. I don't need necessarily nostalgia. I just don't want it disrespecting of nostalgia. That's it. Like, you don't have to bring back characters from 40 years ago. You don't have to do that for me to be excited about a film. You could give it a brief mention and you could not destroy their legacy. That's about all I ask from any film that is, whether it be Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or whatever it may be, Star Trek, or so forth, is do not destroy the legacy of the original, but don't necessarily just make it full of nostalgia and there really be no substance to the movie. I hope that's not the case when it comes to this new Ghostbusters film. But I'm telling you that, usually the reviews are glowing. The reviews for this one are kind of like it's like a safe movie. So I don't know, packed full of nostalgia. So I don't know how I feel towards that. That's got me a little bit worried. But at the same time, you know what? At least according to this, it doesn't ruin the legacy of the original. So I guess that's something, and that might be something that they can build upon. But at the end of the day, I'd still rather see the regular Ghostbusters up there and just recast them. And let's see if they can, you know, remake or not remake the original, but make one that is for this generation. I think that would be absolutely amazing if they would do that. But I highly doubt in 2021 we're going to get an all male cast. I just don't see that happening. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Does these reviews change you on Ghostbusters Afterlife? Does it make you wanting? Does it make you want to see it more? Does it make you want to see it less? Does it get you excited in any form or fashion? Are you excited about the nostalgia aspect of it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.